So the way the thing is organized, you know, we've all kind of been taught pursuit a certain way when we're growing up. And you put the cones on the sideline or something like that. You got the whole group in there and they do a down up or something like that. And then they go sprint to the cone and maybe you got some bags over there or something that they tackle. And there's like 10 bags, but there's 11 guys. And then the one guy's got to run all the way across the field, 53 yards and tackle this bag across the field, right? It's more of a conditioning drill than anything, right? In my opinion, pursuit has nothing to do with the field at all. It has everything to do with the ball. And we want to be able to have proper leverage on the football. We say force, like everybody says, outside in. When we say power, inside out. Really, the only two leverage responsibilities that you have is either a force or a power. Are you inside out of the ball or are you outside in of the ball? So we were able to say those easy cues, hey, force, you know, across the field, or power fit, and it'll be able to be some quick coaching. So when you do a full line pursuit drill, in my opinion, you have a bunch of guys that are in an unrealistic situation because nobody's defeating any blocks. There's no offense out there at all. And you're running to these cones and and what do we say? Don't chase the same color jersey or whatever. Don't follow the same guy. So it's unrealistic. We work this half line pursuit drill. And the way that we set it up, as you can see, is we got two guys that are on the uprights on the 5-yard line. We got the whole unit. It's I should have mentioned, this is a drill that we would use to start the day. All our periods are 5 minutes, so this is a 5-minute period. We'd start the day out with this drill, so it's kind of gets the blood flowing and guys running and sprinting all over the place. The two rabbits, if you will, these two guys right here, are hanging out on the uprights at the 5-yard line. Then I put a cone in between the hash and the top of the college numbers on the same line, and then I put a cone on top of the numbers at the 10-yard line, on top of the numbers at the 20-yard line. And I do that. We got those going on both sides up there. Okay. The first down, right, is a toss play, and there's all kinds of different things that we get an opportunity to coach within this. But we work half line so that guys can not have to worry about defeating blocks and whatnot. So first down for us is just a pure toss play, and we have these backs just kind of go like an erector set right to all of these cones. Our corner is a force player, so he's going to go outside in, and then everybody else is an inside out player. They're a power player. So we put half of our D-line on one side. We put our two safeties, as you can see, 12 yards over the football. They're kind of on the tick mark of the, what do you call it, the field goal PAT tick mark or whatever that thing is. I don't do the special teams. So they can kind of run the alley type of thing. So this is how this drill looks. Two coaches over there kind of turn around and toss the ball. Everybody gets to the hip of the ball carrier and they go low to high with double uppercuts. And we can see our corner forcing it. And then you can kind of see that banana path by the safety, taking a pursuit angle based totally on the football. And then I'm kind of standing in the back there coaching guys, making sure guys are running, making sure guys are unloading their hips, low to high with double uppercuts. This is how we teach tackling. Shoulders over the toes, low to high, double uppercuts. Those three things is what we teach, okay? And then while blow the whistle once, they're kind of jogging in place or whatever, blow the whistle twice, they clasp their hands, and then they go back to the original position, okay? Now it's second down. So second down, we bring these rabbits now on the top of the numbers, down here and up here, and we're gonna run a tunnel, or a rocket screen, excuse me, and then we're gonna run a tunnel screen down here. And we'll switch like the strength call date on some certain days or whatever. But now we get an opportunity to get our rush. We get a chance to coach our D-line when they are rushing the quarterback and the quarterback looks at them, then they're responsible for matching the hand of the quarterback. So you can see these D linemen put their hands up to match the hand. The quarterback pumps the ball down to the rocket screen or the tunnel screen. And now we have our outside linebackers and our corners, because they're dropping. These guys kind of get into their pass drops. They drop, those guys force it, and then the other guys run inside out and go inside out of the ball. Now there's another aspect of this drill, and it's a 5-minute period drill, but we get a chance to talk our coach communication as well. Now, communication for all of us, I think, is paramount, right? And we want our players talking on the field. But how do we coach communication? We say at St. Thomas, say what you see and point what you say. Tap your hip to confirm that you've heard, whatever is said, right? Say what you see and point what you say allows us as coaches, when we can't hear the volume on the video here, to know 1,000% that guy's lips are moving. So I know for a fact these guys that are pointing down here in the bottom, when we watch this clip, he says, rocket, 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 right? And everybody's seeing that, and they're all pointing. And then we all get to change our path to whatever the screen is, right? Our communication, you can do however you want, obviously, but our communication is huddle if we do huddle. We huddle if the offense huddles. If the offense doesn't huddle, we don't huddle. But huddle one time before we get into the huddle. Everybody says the front and the coverage twice when we're in the huddle, leading up to the snap of the football. Maybe it's motion, motion, or trade, trade. We say it twice. And then 3 times after the ball is snapped, because I think it's that more important. Rocket, rocket, rocket. Draw, 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 in, out, 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 right? But they're pointing when they're talking. So you can see everybody pointing. And then you get an opportunity to work on a different kind of screen, wide receiver screen, with one being a tunnel and one being a rocket, right? And then third down, so that's second down. Third down then would be a drop back pass. So now we have these two coaches in the back here, kind of right around the 25-yard line, kind of being the deep dig area guys. So we'll drop back on third down. They'll get into their pass rush. Opportunity now for us to teach the D linemen. You got to understand the difference between a third down situation and a first or second down situation, circumstantial football versus non-circumstantial football, and maybe how your stance changes, right? Getting up the field, getting nasty, tempo and urgency to your drops with the defensive backs and the linebackers. So they get into their drops, the coaches drop back, and then they pump the ball to one of the two coaches, and then everybody is responsible for sprinting to where that ball is thrown. Now, we're going to talk about cut tackling here in a second. And I totally, Drew, forgot what time I started. So if you can just tell me what time I started so I know what time I got to end.
You're fine. You're doing fine, man. Just go for it.
Okay. And I got a lot of clips on here. So you just say, hey, you're done when I'm done. Okay.
I'd say you got about 6 or 7 more minutes probably.
Ooh, dang, right on. All right. So then cut tackle for us, when you're a defenseless receiver, we're going to get into it here in just a second, but cut tackle for us, when you're a defenseless receiver, we want to cut tackle that. So you can see all of these guys, helmets go down on the ball carrier, indicating that they understand, hey, this is a defenseless receiver and this is a cut tackle opportunity. I should say the cut tackle is mandatory type of tackle for us. That's third down. Fourth down then for us is a transition period. And it's another opportunity for us to coach how we want to pick the ball off on fourth down. We say if you're fading backwards when you pick the football off, when you're going to pick the football off, we don't want to catch that ball if we're going backwards. If we're going forward, we want to be able to pick the ball off, even if it's on fourth down. Now, obviously, end of game scenario, we wouldn't want to pick that ball off, right? We just knock it down and game's over. But we could miss out on all kinds of opportunity of losing yards for the offense by picking a football off if we're going backwards. So it's an opportunity for us to talk about that. So we drop back. Again, it's a passing scenario, so the D-line gets up the field, they match the hand. Coaches now throw the football to either the linebackers or the DBs, and now it's an opportunity for us to work on our touchdown transition. So once we catch the football, the responsibility of the person that catches the ball is to get to the near numbers. I've heard a lot of coaches in the past talk about get to the sideline, get to the sideline. When you say get to the sideline, in my opinion, then we get athletes that don't allow them to be athletic, right? And they're really constricted because they're right next to the sideline. When you get to the numbers, then that gives you an opportunity to get into the end zone, right? The D-line is responsible for retracing and finding the quarterback. That's their responsibility. Quarterbacks usually are the last guys that end up tackling a guy in an interception or some type of takeaway. The person that's closest to the interceptor needs to block, or the interceptee, I would say, right? needs to block the intended receiver because that's the first guy that can tackle our guy, right? So you can see as we pick this football off at the deep middle safety down here in the bottom, you're going to see our linebacker run over there. He picks it off. He blocks the imaginary receiver. Everybody else is responsible for cleaning off the numbers. Block a guy in the numbers, and then another opportunity for us to talk about, hey, change of possession. We can't block anybody in the back. We can't, we can't cut anybody. And all of this is quick, easy, quick coaching words that we're able to do in a 5-minute period. Get to the numbers. Now we also get a chance to talk about ball security on defense, right? We want to get the ball on the outside arm. We don't want to get the ball on the inside arm and that ball is in jeopardy. So find a way to rake that ball into the outside arm and keep that thing high and tight. Additionally, at the end, you're going to see this player down here on the bottom on the 20-yard line. Once he has the ball on his outside arm, we want to push. We call it a 3-step. This is a special teams coaching point as well as an offensive coaching point. When we get into the open field, we want to push in and then we want to push back out. Everybody in our program knows that we want the numbers. We want to get outside and get to the end zone. So they're blocking for that leverage. But if we can push in on a 3-step, 1, 2, 3 in, then the offense starts to converge back in where we can go 1, 2, 3 back out. So this is the interception portion of the drill. And you can see he goes 1, 2, 3 in, 1, 2, 3 out, and then gets in the end zone, and the next group is up.